Yo, what it do, y'all? Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Will. This is Fandom Frequency, where we dive into all different types of topics in the world of pop culture. But today, we're diving into the world of music and more specifically hip hop, talking about one of my all time favorite hip hop artists ever in any generation. Kendrick Lamar's latest project, album, mixtape, EP. We'll discuss that and more here. We're talking about GNX, his surprise album essentially that dropped out of nowhere this past Friday. I took a chance, took a couple listens over the weekend and bumped some of the individual tracks that I loved the most, like Squabble Up and all that. You know what I'm saying? Woke up looking for the broccoli hot key. Come on, man. You know it's a fucking banger. You know we had to get into it, and we're going to be diving into all the tracks on the album, my background as a Kendrick fan and everything like that, how I think this stacks up overall in his catalog so far. Not going to rank it or anything, but, just get into all that and more, and some of the big controversial topics of the album and all that shit. Let's get right into it, man. Kendrick Lamar's GNX. First, we're going to get with the backstory of myself as a Kendrick Lamar fan. I go back to being a TDE fan in general, Top Dog Entertainment, for those of you that don't know. Been a fan of theirs since 2010. You know what I'm saying? Since my sophomore year of high school. So I'm dating myself right there. But that was my jam. Fucking Kendrick Lamar, Absol, Schoolboy Q, J Rock. You know what I'm saying? I even heard J Rock a few years before that, before I even realized he was part of Top Dog Entertainment. And then it all started with Kendrick Lamar when he did the Overly Dedicated mixtape slash project, whatever. And when that dropped, I believe 2010, I had heard that in my sophomore year of high school. I was actually getting into rapping myself and freestyling and just having fun with the overall art form that is rap, and just diving into, more deep cuts from the 90s and the 80s, and just discovering tons of new up-and-coming artists that were getting onto the scene, and a lot of the underground of the 2000s and stuff I grew up on as well. So I was pretty well-versed in hip-hop by the time I became a Kendrick Lamar fan, and started listening to Absol and Schoolboy Q from there, and just instantly fell in love with that collective. But most importantly, Kendrick Lamar, who became instantly my favorite current rapper in hip-hop. And I'll say it right now, Kendrick Lamar is the best rapper alive. Once again, I'll say, best rapper alive. If you want to put in some of the legends that we've lost and all kinds of people throughout history between, the 80s to now, we can have a whole different discussion. But for me personally, for my money, my personal opinion, as a hip-hop fan, as a member of the hip-hop and rap community, I say Kendrick Lamar is the dopest, best rapper alive. He's the GOAT right now, in my opinion, at the moment. But it all started back then with Overly Dedicated, and then when he dropped Section 80, and when he got discovered by Dre in the process, worked on Section 80 and dropped that, everything fucking changed from there, and Kendrick Lamar started to blow up even more, and I was along for the ride all the way up to Good Kid, Mad City, when he had the recipe with Dre, when he had the Dre features, he had the Dre production, the whole 9 yards, Interscope Records, working with Top Dog Entertainment, first big major label deal since J Rock with Warner Brothers back in the day, several years prior to that. It was big news, man. I remember over the course of 2012 into 2013, in my senior year of high school, how so many people instantly discovered Kendrick Lamar through that album. I heard that album or one song from there played every single day walking home from school or on the weekend or whatever where I lived at, because I lived right across the street from my high school out here in California. So in 2012 to 2013, I literally saw Kendrick Lamar blow up in the IE, like over that in real time. You know what I'm saying? When only really the hip hop heads knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? And maybe some people that listen to rap quite a bit maybe had discovered him through a feature or something like that. But a lot of people, I especially knew, a lot of these preppies and all that in high school did not know Kendrick Lamar. So just seeing how Good Kid, Mad City came out, he had the hits like Swimming Pools, Poetic Justice with Drake, of all people, ironically, and all that shit back in the day, and how that all came full circle. And instantly from there, Kendrick Lamar became an international fucking superstar and has only elevated his material since. And then he has the biggest rap beef in at least 10 to 15 years with fucking Drake earlier this year, about 6-7 months ago. They have crazy back and forth. He dropped some of the most epic tracks of his career and some of the most epic diss tracks in hip hop between Meet the Grams and Not Like Us. I still think Euphoria is fucking amazing as well. 616 in LA was pretty good, but man, from Euphoria to Not Like Us and Meet the Grams back to back, that shit was insane. He totally took that fool Drake out, so that's exactly where I'm sitting in this situation. Drake lost his battle. It's very clear and plain to see. Not saying he didn't stand a chance, not saying I don't respect him for putting up a fight and for actually going toe-to-toe with the greatest rapper alive right now, in my personal opinion, or at least one of the top three, as I said. No, fuck top three. It's just Big Me. That's what my boy said, and Kendrick came out there, fucking Kung Fu Kenny, fucking got him, took him out, sniped him. It's over, man. And clearly Kendrick was the winner. And he had the whole fucking pop out here in LA at the Forum, stunting, bringing fucking 100 different fucking gangs together on stage in unison. The West Coast, the West Side was unified and still seems to kind of have that unification going on in the name of just hip hop culture, in the name of LA culture, in the name of West Coast artists, West Coast hip hop, West Coast culture has been hot, man. The Dodgers won the World Series. People are looking at the Warriors potentially getting into the freaking playoffs again and winning. You know, there's a lot of great shit going on in the West Coast right now, and Kendrick Lamar just really put the West on his back, really elevated everything, and people like Tyler, the Creator, showed that he really might be just the biggest out the West outside of Kendrick Lamar now. You know what I'm saying? And really solidified that with Camp Flognaw this year. Mustard's out there throwing disses to Drake at one of the biggest festivals of the year. It's fucking insane, man. Like, it's just a great time to be alive, a great time to be a Kendrick fan, and now it's time for us to really dive all into this album. And this album is fucking incredible, man. From top to bottom, it is excellent in my opinion, man. There's really like one, maybe two songs on here I don't vibe with quite as much as the rest of this album, but 10 to 11 out of 12 tracks is fucking impressive, especially this deep into the man's career when this is like his 6th or 7th studio album released over the course of 13 years now. And even though it's not a ton of albums that he's put out, it's all been fucking quality. And this album is no different. Whether it's a mixtape that he might drop a more of a concept album later is the big speculation right now. So we'll wait and see. But just kicking this damn album off with whacked out murals to me is fucking just such a boss move. Now, so it just makes him like such a fucking G, man. It just shows the status that he is at. You know, and using the whole metaphor of whacking out a mural, which means like crossing out somebody's tagging spot and crossing out their crew, right? His actual mural, I'm not exactly sure where it is, to be completely honest with you, so I'll have to do the research in post, so you'll probably see it, but I'm not seeing it because I'm still shooting the video. But yeah, man, someone whacked out Kendrick Lamar's mural somewhere, wherever it's at, the East Coast, wherever it is, and it's literally like a double entendre because he's talking about how people are kind of like trying to like step on his accolades and step on some of the hard work that he's put in and kind of not really congratulate him for it, like Lil Wayne with the Super Bowl, and how Nas is the only one giving him congratulations for getting that gig, for making history for hip hop, for making history as an MC. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he put that whole line in there where he says, you know, I used to bump the car to 3 and he used to wear my chain, but ironically, I think my hard work let Wayne down. You know what I mean? Just directly addressing the situation, directly addressing things going on with the beef and things since the beef. And he does that really throughout this whole album. But Whacked Out Murals just comes in such a classic, just fucking gritty hip-hop way and just letting motherfuckers know where he's at, what he's been going through, what his opinions are, and how he feels about his status in the world of hip-hop and where he is as an MC and as an artist and what he's doing culturally right now. And to me, it's just fucking awesome. Then he goes straight into Squabble Up, where he's just flexing for the whole song, you know what I'm saying? Reincarnated, I was stargazing. Like, it's just such a dope-ass track, man. And just the way that they flip the freaking samples and the way that he just rides the fucking beat just so smooth the whole time, man. And just a simple ass hook of just squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up. Like, it's just fucking perfect, man. Like, it's just, he's just rapping on such a great level, man. And if you really break down the lyrics and the wordplay that he's using, it's just so fucking dope, man. But it's also simple and a little more straightforward overall in terms of some of the songs in Kendrick's catalog and even on this album. Then you transition into number 3 with Luther featuring SZA, just fucking killing the track once again with her amazing vocals, flipping the Luther Vandross "If This World Was Mine" sample right there. To create like a new age like slow jam, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's just fucking awesome how Kendrick Lamar is able to make things feel so old school but still so contemporary at the same time. And I think the best artists in any genre are able to do so. And it's always something as a musician and artist myself I've been chasing my whole life. So just being able to blend those two things together to create an amazing record is something special. And I think just with this song Luther, it really is a nice, like, just grown man's type of music, grown woman type of music, like just something that adults can really get into. Some people that have a little more deeper knowledge of music and stuff can really appreciate the layers and kind of the different genres and eras that Kendrick is pulling from here. And with the tracks like Man of the Garden and Reincarnated, really Kendrick just diving into his psyche of where he sees things culturally with hip hop, and where he sees himself and his legacy and all the work that he's put in, and how he does call himself the greatest of all time, and literally says like, why do y'all even think you're entitled to the greatest of all time? Like, y'all ain't even like, you don't even like necessarily deserve my music. It's just a blessing that I'm still giving it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? And just in a way of where, like, the power still lies with me and I'm still in control of the situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm the GOAT that you be talking about. So everything's gonna fall on me, and I'm the one that calls the shots. And just Kendrick Lamar just having that old school mentality with hip hop of just, I'm the best out there. I'm better than all of y'all. No disrespect. It's all love. I appreciate the culture. I appreciate y'all. I work with y'all. But I got a sword out here. It's called my pen. And I'm out here to battle, and I'm out here to prove that I'm the best. And that's the true essence of hip hop that has been a bit lost these days, especially in just mainstream and culturally. It's been a bit lost in my personal opinion. So I'm hoping that it definitely is coming back. It does seem like it's coming back in a better regard now in the overall state of hip hop. And I think Kendrick, with the overall beef and things going on and just the run that he's on right now with the singles and this album, it just solidifies all that and just shows the level and status that he's at, and really just solidifies, I think, what he's doing, and kind of makes it undeniable at the same time. And just addressing a lot of like just deeper personal things and things going on culturally in the world today as well, with Reincarnated, and just the overall thing of being with fame, and how these different people, these different like archetypes of successful people in the world of entertainment, and how those things have and how the negative aspects and the demons that they face and try to deal with and try to kind of cope with the drugs, the alcohol, all that other bullshit, right? And just the way that it kind of tears people down, and how even at the end of the day, where he still doesn't fully portray his authentic self, because even he hasn't forgiven others and can't really bestow that knowledge onto us, his fans, and off to the culture, if he's not even fully doing that, and how he can want to preach about the peace but also love war at the same time. And the duality of that in life, that is just being a human, is the one thing that Kendrick Lamar always does beautifully, and he does so well, especially on the song Reincarnated. But even Man of the Garden really shows the more competitive, aggressive side of him. And I think Reincarnated shows the more thoughtful, more deep introspective side that we all know Kendrick Lamar to be. And the duality of him as a human is something that almost has become something like kind of almost like his brand at this point, but in a much more authentic way than most people kind of going for this type of feel would normally kind of portray it as or have it come off as. And then, don't you forget about it, turn his TV off, turn his TV off. Mustard! Like, that's the shit right there, man. Freaking bangers. TV off. Produced by Mustard and Soundwave, man. These two producers came through and blessed Kendrick with a fucking banger, man. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Man, I ain't stopped seeing Kendrick Lamar TV off memes all weekend, every day, everywhere I go, every time I scroll. It's everywhere, man, and it's hilarious. Even brands are getting on it, like McDonald's and shit, bro. They're making legitimate merchandise with this shit. It's crazy, man. Like, Kendrick really owns the culture right now, man. TV off, bro. I was literally yelling Mustard to coworkers yesterday. Like, come on, man. And it was one of the supervisors I normally don't talk to about shit like that. So that goes to show you, man, Kendrick's about bringing the culture together, baby. And then you go into another smooth one right here that just feels so old school West Coast with Dodger Blue. I love that song. Some people really aren't feeling that song. I was seeing online and some of the discourse out there. I really love Dodger Blue. It's such a dope track. Just don't take it personal. I know my voice isn't good. Don't get mad at me, all right? But it's fucking great, man. It's just such a great old school West Coast feeling track. And then you go into something that just feels completely contemporary, like just turn up trap shit with Peekaboo, which to me feels like Kendrick was kind of doing a little bit of a spoof on like a lot of these mumble rap like trap type songs, and kind of saying how they don't be talking about nothing. Like, what they talking about? They talking about nothing. What they talking about? They talking about nothing. What they talking about? They talking about nothing. They talking about? They talking about nothing. Like, just saying like they don't be talking about nothing. You know what I mean? And even though there's definitely more nuance to what Kendrick Lamar is actually saying lyrically on the track, and the way that he's rapping is very well orchestrated and put together. Like the how does it start? Like peekaboo, put the boogers on my chain, peekaboo, 80 pointers like a Kobe game. Like, sorry, I know I said that all fucked up, but I was trying to remember it. But it's just like just such great wordplay that he's doing throughout the entire song, and the way that he's able to switch the flow up too, to be doing like such like a more like almost like double time type of flow and everything like that. And just the call and response with the overall chorus of this song is gonna go fucking crazy live. I hope I get to witness that, man, because that's gonna be fucking crazy, man. And then my boy Kendrick brings it back, bro. He took back the Heart series with Heart Part 6, and he goes completely anime with it and gives us the TDE backstory, baby, and tells us all about the times of him being a hype man for J-Rock and watching Absol come up and the way that he respected his pen and wanted to rhyme like him, and the way that all the TDE shit came together, how Mixed by Ali came into the picture, how Schoolboy Q came into the picture, how Soundwave got into the thing and started producing, how Top Dog and him would work together, and how Black Hippie didn't work out because of him, and how he wanted to sprout off and do his own thing and wanted to do something different creatively because he wanted to get outside, I think, of that phase of his career in his mind, but now kind of realizes maybe he missed something special with his brothers that could have been a moment in time and something really special, even if it was one project or whatever, one tour. It could have really been dope because I saw some of those Black Hippie performances back in the mid 2010s. It was super dope getting to see all four of them live. It was the first real super group in a long time in hip hop. And I was so glad as a hip hop fan I was able to witness that. And it was awesome, man. But at least they gave us those moments. At least that happened. And I love the way that Kendrick addressed that. And I love the way that he took back the Heart series and made it about TDE and not about the beef. And I love that so much. Because I didn't like that Hard Part 6 from Drake. I liked Family Matters. I thought Push Ups was pretty dope too. But I didn't like that track from Hard Part 6. And the Tupac AI shit, fucking blasphemy, bro. West Side, bro. Come on. Get your shit together. But yeah, man, Hard Part 6, I absolutely love that song, man. GNX, that was the first song in this album I wasn't necessarily loving. I ain't gonna front with y'all. It's not bad. It's Kendrick Lamar. No song's ever really bad unless maybe you go back to maybe his first mixtape or some shit. You know what I mean? Back in 2002 or something. I don't know. But unless you can go way back to the very beginning of the man's career, nothing is weak in Kendrick Lamar's catalog. But I do think this song just pales in comparison to pretty much every other track on here, especially when you end the album off with Gloria, when you got SZA back on vocals and everything, and the way that he uses that as a metaphor. This seems like he's talking about a love story with a woman, but it's actually his love story with the game and how he fell in love with hip hop and how he fell in love with making music. And that to me was brilliant because he M. Night Shyamalan's your ass and gives you the twist right there at the end, like all great writers do. But he does it in such a great way where you don't see it coming until you've heard it, and then you can kind of pick up some of the key clues and some of the context that he's putting in there and some of the things, because if you know about his actual real life partner Whitney, some of the things don't really add up in a certain sense or sound similar. So I like the way that he was able to spin this into what it seemed like this relationship that he'd been dealing with for many years, but it really was him and how he fell in love with the game as a young, like, middle schooler or something like that, and then how it's grown to today and how he deals with it now and how it's grown with him, and through the lows and through the highs, how it's truly made him a better person than he probably ever would have without it. You know what I'm saying? And I love the way that he just wraps all of this album up into what matters the most, and that's his passion for music and for being an artist and for putting something out there that truly connects with people. And that to me is Kendrick Lamar in a motherfucking nutshell in one song, man. So, like I said, this album is phenomenal to me. To me, it's album of the year. I haven't heard every single hip hop album or new release per se, but out of what I've listened to between the Tylers, the Eminems, the Linkin Parks, and all that other stuff, man, all the current releases that I've really bumped so far, Molotov Solution, which is a hardcore band, they're back, so that's kind of cool. But besides the point, Kendrick Lamar's album GNX, phenomenal piece of work, and I think it's definitely in the top 3 or 4 of his albums easily, in my personal opinion. I think Good Kid, Mad City is always going to be my favorite. It was just a special time for me, and it's just something special about that album. I think will just never be captured again, even by the man himself. And it was a moment in time and an era, and and it's been on the charts for 12 years, man. That album's a bona fide classic. That album is one of those kind of albums that kind of becomes an enigma in and of itself. So you gotta love it for that. But yeah, this album is fucking great. I've been bumping it all weekend, and I'm gonna be continue to bump it. I think my top 5 tracks on this got to be Squabble Up, TV Off, Heart Part 6. Surprisingly, I'm going to go with Dodger Blue, even to myself. And then I'm going to go with Whacked Out Murals because he's just so fucking cold-blooded on that. But those are probably my top 5 tracks on the album. Let me know what your top 5 tracks are. What's your favorite track on the album, bar none? Did this actually disappoint you and you think this isn't Kendrick's best work? Even if you're in that camp, I would love to hear your opinion. Dive into the comments below. I love getting into all that discussion with y'all. I'm actually thinking about doing a Kendrick Lamar album ranking all his albums and getting into it here on the channel. Maybe doing a tier ranking or just doing it in numerical. Or you know, in a numerical type sense. So y'all let me know if you're down or interested in seeing that down below in the comments. We do got some fun videos coming out this week. You know what I mean? And out here in the States, you know, we're celebrating Thanksgiving. So much love to each and every one of you. I'm thankful for each and every one of you subscribers and people that watch the video and really supports the channel. You mean a lot to me and really helps fuel my fire for this project to keep it growing and seeing where it can grow to and how we can grow this community together and just get into all the stuff that we love the most and, you know, have a place to talk about it civilly. You know what I mean? So have a great Thanksgiving out there, y'all. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for this Kendrick album. I'm thankful for everything going on right now on the channel. And life's pretty good. You know what I mean? Work can be a drag, but other than that, life's good. I can't complain. And it's good times, man. So make sure you stick around and check out all the cool stuff we got here going on the channel. We're going to be doing more album reviews and music discussion on the channel and on my podcast feed. My music podcast called Phantom FM will be returning before the end of the year for season 2. Leading into 2025, we're going to be doing bigger and better things with that show as well. All that information is in the description. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, much love. Peace out.